Hello everybody, my name is Kirti Sri Ganapati and today we will be covering the topic Agile Methodology and Agile Main Methods. In the next few minutes, we will be covering the Agile Principles, Agile Manifesto, Main Agile Characteristics and Processes, Industry Overview, the Competitive Analysis, and Open Source Tools, all the different tools, the features, SWOT analysis, and the references. So, what is Agile? Agile is an iterative approach to project management and the software development. It helps the team to deliver value to their customers, and it does it faster and with fewer difficulties. It has the requirements, it has planning, and the results are evaluated continuously so that teams can have a natural mechanism for responding to change quickly. Let us go through the definition of what is written over here. Agile software development refers to a group of software development methodologies based on the iterative development. As we already saw that it focuses on the iterative feature of development, where the requirements and the solutions evolve through collaboration between self-organizing cross-functional teams. So the basic 2 points which has to be noted over here are the cross-functional teams and the iterative nature. Here in this picture, you can see that Agile is the ability to create and respond to change. It consists of safety, frequent delivery, limited WIP. WIP stands for work in progress, ongoing evaluation, emergent architecture, empower teams, customer collaboration, and transparency. Here, customer collaboration is very important. That is, getting frequent feedbacks from the client or customers is what makes Agile very flexible and unique. Customer collaboration would be helpful in giving the ongoing evaluation, that is the feedback. Why do we need Agile? Agile is the best way to get early feedback which helps in quicker decision making. As we saw in the previous slide that the customer collaboration gives us early feedback. So getting early feedback would help in faster, quicker decision making. Here in this picture, you can see that deliver incrementally would be so much better in a product development and release than everything at once. Moving on, Agile is an umbrella of activities, or it consists of various methodologies such as Scrum, Crystal, Kanban, Lean, Safe, Extreme Programming, and FDD. We will be seeing all these except Scrum one by one very soon. So Agile also consists of something called as Agile Manifesto and the 12 Agile Principles. So the widely used Agile methodologies include the Scrum methodology, Lean software development, Kanban, Extreme Programming, formerly known as XP, Crystal Clear, and Dynamic Systems Development Method, that is DSDM. We shall see the Lean software development now. The main principles of Lean methodology include eliminating waste, amplifying learning, etc. So the Lean software development is an iterative Agile methodology that focuses the team on delivering value to the customer through effective value streaming mapping. So we have a table, or during Lean methodology, there would be a value to whatever product we have delivered. That kind of mapping is called as value stream mapping. That is highly flexible, evolving, and it does not have rigid guidelines or rules or methods. So we have seen a few of the main principles of Lean methodology, such as eliminating waste, amplifying learning, building integrity, seeing the whole, etc. Lean development eliminates waste by asking the users to select only the truly valuable features for the system. It has to be prioritized based on the features and then work to deliver them in small batches. So as we have seen in the previous picture, that deliver incrementally. So delivering in small batches is what lean methodology focuses on. It relies on rapid and reliable feedback between programmers and customers. It emphasizes the speed and efficiency of development. Lean also uses the idea of a work product being pulled via customer request. It gives decision-making authority to individuals and small teams, since this has been proven to be a faster and more efficient method. Lean also concentrates on the efficient use of team resources, trying to ensure that everyone is as productive as possible for the maximum amount of time. It strongly recommends that automated unit tests be written the same time the code is written. So this kind of methodology or development is called test-driven development, also known as TDD. There are other types of development such as behavior-driven development as well, which is called as BDD. So we have seen test-driven development and behavior-driven development. Let us move to the next methodology. This is called Kanban, and it is based on 3 basic principles which is listed here. Kanban is highly visual workflow management method that is popular among lean teams. In fact, 83% of teams practicing lean use Kanban to visualize and actively manage the creation of products with an emphasis on continual delivery. While this does not add stress to the software development life cycle like Scrum, Kanban is a process designed to help teams work together and more efficiently. So the 3 basic principles of Kanban include: visualize what you'll do today, that is workflow automation. Seeing all the items within the context of each other can be very informative. Limit the amount of work in progress. This helps the balance of the flow-based approach so that teams don't start and commit too much work at once. So this is having just enough on your plate which you can finish. And enhancing the flow. When something is finished, the next highest priority item from the backlog is pulled into the play. Here in this picture, you can see just a miniature illustration of how a Kanban board would look like. So in the leftmost column, here you can see that these are the tasks to do. This is in progress, and the final column is done. So whenever a new user story has to be pulled, it would be pulled from the to-do list. If a task is in progress, have the limited number of work in progress, that is, limit the amount of work in progress. And finally, if you have finished, if a team or team member has finished the work, that particular user story or task would be moved to done state. Kanban promotes continuous collaboration and encourages active ongoing learning and improvement by defining the best possible team workflow. Coming to XP or extreme programming. Extreme programming was previously described by Kent Beck, and it has emerged as one of the most popular and controversial agile methods or models. Extreme programming is a disciplined approach for a high quality agile software development. It focuses on speed and continuous delivery. It is indeed an improved software quality. It has it has the intent to have an improved software quality and responsiveness because the rapid change in customer requirements has to be implemented in the software project. It promotes high customer involvement, rapid feedback loops, continuous testing, continuous planning, and close teamwork to deliver working software at a very frequent intervals. That can range typically between 1 to 3 weeks. Here in this picture, you can see that the user stories are coming continuously, and the release planning just happens in a very short period of time. The iteration cycles are also immediately after the acceptance testing. So this goes on into a loop. The original extreme programming method is based on 4 simple rules or values, you can say. First one is the simplicity, that is the simple design. Second is communication. Third is feedback, and feedback here, as you can see. And finally, it is the courage to have or to take up this as a challenge and just deliver the project within the given time frame, that is 1 to 3 weeks. Let us move on to Crystal. So the Crystal methodology is one of the most lightweight, adaptable approaches to software development. Crystal is actually comprised of a family of agile process models that includes Crystal Clear, Crystal Yellow, Crystal Orange, and others. Each has unique characteristics driven by several factors such as the team size, system criticality, and project priorities. This Crystal family addresses the realization that each project may require a slightly tailored set of policies, practices, and processes in order to meet the product's unique characteristics. Here you can see the 7 properties of Crystal Clear. These are the mandatory ones, the left side, and these to the right are not so mandatory. The mandatory ones are osmotic communication, that is sit close, communicate often, and include all. Having a team where the team members are located close by in a real world organization instead of not exactly the virtual world we are right now in. Reflective improvement, that is improve the methodology, improve the team, reflection workshops, etc. Frequent delivery, not iteration, every 2 months, and minimum 2 deliveries per project. So here we can note the statement mentioning it is delivery and not just the iteration. That is, instead of just getting a change request or change in requirement, you change the methods following to it. Instead of that, it is actually the entire delivery. So frequent delivery and not just iteration. The non-mandatory things are easy access to expert users, personal safety, focus, and agile technical environment. So what consists of agile technical environment? It is the automated tests, configuration management, and frequent integration. Since we will be having multiple deliveries and multiple process, multiple teams, frequent integration is a very critical point in Crystal Clear. Let us move on to DSDM. Let me say that DSDM stands for Dynamic Systems Development Method. The DSDM is an agile approach that grew out of the need to provide a common industry framework for rapid software delivery. If I recollect properly, it is from 1994, the DSDM methodology has evolved to provide a comprehensive foundation for planning, management, executing, and scaling. So DSDM is based on 8 key principles that direct the team and create a mindset to deliver a time and within budget. These agile principles primarily revolve around the business needs or the values, active user involvement, empowered teams, frequent delivery, integrated testing, stakeholder collaboration. DSDM specifically calls out fitness for the business purpose as the primary criteria for delivery and acceptance of a system. It mainly focuses on 80% of the usable system deployed in the 20% of time. Let us see the 8 principles of DSDM. It is focus on the business needs, deliver on time, collaborate, never compromise on quality, build incrementally from firm foundations, develop iteratively, communicate continuously and clearly, finally, demonstrate control. Business requirements are baselined at a high level early on the project. Rework is built into the process, and all the development changes must be reversible. System requirements are planning and delivered in short, fixed length time boxes, also known as sprints or iterations. They are prioritized using something called as MOSCOW, Moscow rules. That is, M stands for must have requirements. S stands for should have at least whatever is possible. C is could have but not critical. W is won't have this time but potentially later. All the critical work must be completed in a DSDM project's defined time box. It is also important that not every requirement in a project or a time box is considered critical. Within each time box, less critical items can also be included so that time can be removed to keep from impacting higher priority requirements on schedule. Moving to feature-driven development, that is FDD. FDD is a model-driven short iteration process that was built around the software engineering best practices such as domain object modeling, developing by feature, then code ownership. The blending of these practices that resulted in a cohesive whole is the best feature of FDD. FDD consists of 5 basic activities. These are development of an overall model, building a feature list, planning by feature, designing by feature, and finally building by feature. FDD begins by establishing an overall model shape, which will be resulted in a feature list. It is then continued with a series of 2-week plan by feature, design by feature, build by feature iterations. The features are small, useful in the eyes of the client, if you say. And finally, it will take more than 2 weeks if it takes more than 2 weeks to be built, then they will have to be broken down into small features. So, as already told, it has to be in small chunks. FDD's main purpose is to deliver tangible, working software in a timely manner, and it has to be done repeatedly. The advantages of using FDD is that it is scalable even to a large team due to the concept of just enough design. Because of the feature-centric process, FDD is a great solution to maintain control for incrementally and inherently complex agile project management. So that was a lot of data with respect to all the different methodologies which comes under Agile. Let us move to Agile Manifesto. So there are 4 basic values in Agile Manifesto, that is, individuals and interactions over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over customer negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. Let us move to the 12 principles of Agile development. The first one is customer satisfaction through early and continuous software delivery. So I would like to show that in one picture instead of a lot of words. The first one is customer satisfaction. As already told, customers are happier when they receive working software at regular intervals rather than waiting for extended periods of time. Accommodate changing requirements throughout the development process. That is, it is the ability to avoid delays when a requirement or a feature request changes. Frequent delivery of working software. That is, Agile accommodates this principle since the team operates in software iterations that ensure regular delivery of working software. Collaboration between the business stakeholders and business developers throughout the project and through the project. That is, taking better decisions when the business and technical teams are aligned. Motivated team. What does that mean? It is the trust, support, and to motivate the people involved. They actually make the work deliver faster and achieve better results. Enable face-to-face interaction. That is, communication is more successful when the development teams are co-located, as we have seen in previous slides that sitting close together in an organization in the real world instead of the virtual world is more effective. The working software is the primary measure of progress. That is, delivering functional software to the customer is the ultimate factor that measures the progress. Agile supports and processes to support a consistent development pace, that is, establishing a repeatable and maintainable speed at which they can deliver working software. Attention to technical detail and the design enhances the agility. The right skill and good design ensures that the team can maintain the pace, constantly improve the product, and sustain the change. Simplicity is developing just enough to get the job done for right now. Self-organizing teams encourage great architectures, requirements, and designs. Skilled and motivated team members who have decision-making power, take ownership, and communicate regularly with other team members and share the ideas, deliver the quality of the product. Reflect and adjust. That is, self-improvement, process improvement, advancing skills and techniques. These help the team members to work more efficiently. So we have seen the 12 different Agile principles in one picture. Let us compare just a quick comparison between waterfall model versus the Agile model. So waterfall is a traditional approach to project management. That is, all the phases of software development, that is requirements, design phase, implementation, verification, and maintenance, they all happen in sequential linear manner without any feedback loops. Whereas in Agile method, the phases of software development is not linear and there are frequent feedback from the customer involved. The process is plan, build, test, review, and finally launch. It could be in it is in multiple iterations or deliveries. So this is the process flow in Agile. So this is according to Standish Group, where the number of successful projects was just 14% in waterfall when that particular project was using waterfall model. 57% were still challenged, that is, it could not succeed or partially succeeded. 29% of the projects they failed. This is the data conducted from 2002 to 2010, that is about 8 years. Coming to the impaired project status, the various reasons for which a project was failed in waterfall was incomplete requirements, lack of user involvement, lack of resources, unrealistic expectations, lack of executive support, challenging requirements, lack of planning, and didn't need it any longer. So these are just few of the issues which was faced by waterfall model when a project used waterfall model. So what could be the common misconceptions of using Agile methodology? So the few misconceptions are no more planning is required, no more quality analysis is required, agile doesn't scale, no more documentation. Never say no to documentation. Documentation is very important and a key feature for any project development. Agile isn't disciplined. These are some of the common misconceptions of using agile methodology. Sorry. Yeah. This is again a comparison between prescriptive versus adaptive model. We have seen the different methodologies under agile, or different variations of agile methodology implementation. RUP stands for Rational Unified Process, Extreme Programming, Scrum, Kanban, and this is all others. You can see that Scrum and Extreme Programming are in the between of using extreme or doing nothing. So most of the organization uses either Scrum or Extreme Programming of agile methodologies. And here is a comparison of agile versus lean. Lean is also a kind of or a flavor of agile, but what are the main differences or similarities between these two? Let us see that. The first is deciding as late as possible. That comes under lean, whereas agile is emerging the feature discovery. So explore more, all such kind of exploratory stuff comes under agile. Building the integrity in. This is deliver the working software. It is amplify learning, fail early and fail often. So that's what agile says. So the more we fail, the more we learn, and more often. So the lessons learned are much more effective in agile. Eliminate waste, value driven development in agile. In lean, it is empowering the team. It is self-organizing team in agile. We have seen that most of the team are the teams which follow agile are self-organizing teams. It has fixed length iterations and multi-level planning, whereas these are the differences mentioned in lean. Let us see some of the features, functions, and characteristics of agile. The first one is scalability, integration of modules, early feedbacks, minimum viable product, and continuous planning. And what exactly all these means? Scalability is the expansion, or how a feature or smaller modules could be fit into other modules, or how well it will be developed in iterations. Integration of modules are basically having minimal bugs, and after integration, minimal bugs after integration, and it compared to waterfall, the number of bugs or number of bugs after integration are much lesser. Early feedback, we have been stressing a lot on early feedback from the beginning. That is, agile is the best way to get early feedback, which helps in the quicker decision making. Minimum viable product is how fast we can deliver that particular product or feature into the market. And continuous planning, of course, gives us early feedback corresponding the changes which are done to the software are adapted accordingly. Let us move on to Agile Roadmap. Just a second. This is just an example of how an Agile roadmap could look like. So in an organization, if the project delivery is divided into 4 quarters, that is from first to fourth, what are the different phases and what could be the possible functionality or work which would be done in those particular quarters? The first is the goal. Initially, we will always come up with a goal which will be set in the first quarter, that is about product introduction, how and what has to be done in that particular project. Then comes the project planning in the first quarter. Of course, in the parallel line, the marketing, that is the branding team comes into picture, where they start the publicizing or promotion of the products. And in the parallel line is R&D. All these phases come in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it could be about the goal would be most in cost reduction. When it comes to planning, we could be that particular project could be doing risk assessment, and in the third and fourth quarter, it could be the release planning. The marketing team would be involved in the PR and other marketing related strategies. Finally, R&D does its own research phases. This is just an example which could be in any particular organization. And this is an example where we can see the burn down chart, which will be used in most of the agile teams. Here you can see that beginning of a sprint starts with the highest burn down. That is, none of the team members have started burning their efforts. And moving further into the sprint, here you can see that the burn down should ideally reduce and come to zero. Here in this particular example, you can see that sprint 117 or sprint XYZ has reached a peak after burning down. So this means some or other team members could be on leave or not working properly, or there could be a lot of bugs where the effort is distributed and not according to not in what they are supposed to be working on. This could be few possible reasons why there is this kink. Coming to some of the real world examples where the organizations where they have used the Agile methodology and how they have seen benefits of using Agile methodology. Some of the organizations are Caterpillar, 3M, IBM, Google, and Spotify. The examples of how the projects were affected are listed here. And what are the top 10 Scrum tools? So some of this top 10 Scrum tools according to Digital Project Manager are Monday.com, Hive, Target Process, Jira, etc. And here you can see the links are shown here on how to download that, and if it is a free option or the price for it, and finally from where to download it from. So the target process features and functionality could be read over here. And finally, I have added a summary of different Scrum tools which are listed here. It says that for Monday.com, the reports are not that great according to Digital Project Manager. And for Mr. Task, everything like project backlog or visualization, all these are good features. For projectmanager.com, the product backlog and burn down charts are not so great. Whereas coming to Jira, the product backlog, visualizations, the reports, notification, and integration, all these features are very good in Jira and Target Process. ClickUp and Vivify Scrum is also listed. The different features and according to the rating are listed here. So this is how Jira's dashboard would look like. So I would like to open up, I created a dashboard for CS557 and it is shown over here. Let me just show that up. I've opened it here. So initially I created one epic, and under the epic we have user story, and under user story we will be having tasks. So for time being, I just created one epic and one story. Let us create one task. So go to the create option. Let me just show that again. In the top taskbar, you can see your work, the different projects which are under your work. For now, I created just one project. The different filters, dashboards. Dashboards could vary or change according to the project, or you can customize the dashboard according to your project. Who all are involved in that particular project. For now, I haven't created a team because it was an individual project and this is for the demos purpose only. And we can create different epics and user stories. Since epic and user story is already there, let me create a task. So go to create click on the project under which you want to create and select task. Give the task description, the components, and if any attachments are there on logs or how it has to be displayed, all such things. Write the description. Who is the reporter, if there are any blocks, issues, all the details, we can fill it up. So it comes, let me just put, I have created 2 user stories. Let me just create under this one. This is the automatic assigning. What is the priority? Is it very high, low, or the lowest priority? Let us just create it as high priority and create. So a task is created under this particular dashboard. You can see that if a team member is working on this particular task, we can move the task from the backlog and move it for development. So if so this task has come under, say suppose if I'm working on this particular task, it would have been assigned on my name in a team. And if I'm working on it, and if I've started working on it, I'll move from development to in progress. This is a kind of Kanban board which we have seen here. And finally, from in progress, if I have finished working on this, and after I track all the details, after I write my comments on what has to be done, what was done, all those things. So I write my comments on this and I can move it from in progress to done. So once it is done, it is moved out of it. You can see that this particular user story is scratched out. This is a very simple and easy to use Kanban board. And in the left side, we can see various options like add item, add pages. If we want to create multiple links, different code components, issues are also called as bugs. So all these things could be added. So this is a demo of Jira. So I created a project under Altician, that is CS576. Let us continue back to our presentation. So some of the project managers in various organizations have used Agile, and they have found various positive feedbacks, or this is the positive feedback of using Agile. So this is a manager from CAT Digital who swears by Agile, that Agile has been fully integrated into CAT Digital products, and it is completely profitable. The business has been profitable. This is in IBM, where they started identifying the people, process, and tools, and how Agile has helped IBM. This is on Google, how Google Maps, such as multiple applications such as Google Maps, Google Calendar, etc. All these are based on Agile process methodology. Coming to the SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So some of the strengths of Agile is time to market, and the cost can be easily controlled since all the iterations are increments are very small, and early feedback is available from the customers. Quick adaption based on the feedback, and early detection of risk. Since the product is already available in the rolled out in the market, we can actually analyze and detect the risks. So the weakness are customer commitment must be high. Since early feedback and the customer involvement is continuous, some of the weakness could be the commitment from the customer, need a constant testing. The opportunities are the clear business goals, the motivation among the team members, and threats are misunderstanding of the scope. Some of the advantages of using Agile are it is more controlled, there is better productivity, better quality, higher customer satisfaction, and higher return on investment. How return on investment is high when we use Agile, we will be seeing shortly. What are some of the disadvantages of using Agile? It is less predictable, that is the fear of unknown. More time and commitment is needed from, as we already saw, that more commitment is needed from the customers. Lack of necessary documentation. Project easily falls off track. Greater demands on developers and clients. Since the changes are rapid and we need any kind of client participation, will definitely impact the software quality and success. Sorry. Yeah. Finally, coming to the key takeaways of using Agile. The first one is avoid upfront wasted work. What does that mean? One of the major takeaways is when working in Agile environment, it will be more efficient with your time by avoiding unnecessary and wasted work. It is really easy to waste the time and energy focusing on unnecessary design and details to show too much too soon. It is encouraged to do explorations, but be smart to know show high fidelity versus low fidelity designs or details. At the beginning phases of most of the projects, getting into finer details could be too early and it can turn into wasted work very fast, as projects can evolve and it can also change rapidly. Let us take an example that if we are working on an app design and in the beginning phases of the project, we would focus on the flow of the app and the basic bones of the pages before getting into the nitty-gritty details. Once those flow and basic bones are adjusted, it could make certain UI interaction, that is user interface interactions, very irrelevant, thus creating wasted work. Many designers follow this practice anyways by using storyboards, wireframing, process flows, and low fidelity proofs to help communicate a concept. So this is one of the key takeaway, that is avoiding wasted work. Moving to the second takeaway, that is know how often we need to negotiate for cheap versus expensive designs. All the design projects have a time allocated and cost allocated with the work we do. In the software world, when working with developers, we are constantly getting them to estimate the effort for certain features or components we wish to build. Sometimes, depending on the effort level, this will result in reprioritizing or simplifying a design. Moving to the third one. Try to avoid over-designing. As software architecture designers, one can occasionally have the tendency to over-design for a solution or concept upfront. We often want to address everything at once, so we are solving all the problems we are aware of. Part of Agile is to learn when to prioritize complexities. Sometimes it does not hurt to try something very simple to start, learn from it, and then add more complexities as the project continues. Sometimes what you may want to assume is very important or the right decision or the right direction to go, but may not be once you receive feedback from the customers. And also the data when we get into our audience will also change. It is easier to add something later than to take away. So it is easier to easy to add smaller modules into our software project than removing the cohesively or completely tightly bound modules. It can also allow for more flexibility of a project to pivot rather than in a digital campaign. So coming to the fourth one, get feedback constantly always. Definitely this is one of the major advantages of using Agile. Again, we should be well versed on how to ask for and take constant critique and feedback. In Agile teams, Software development as product designer, we need to constantly internally get the feedback from development team, product owners, business analysts, internal stakeholders. This would help us evolve and iterate the designs. When I say designs, it is the architectural designs or the product designs. Not only that, but a constant customer validation and user testing is also very important. So, when I previously said that return on investment is very high, or one of the major advantages of after using agile methodology, what exactly did I mean by that? The early and frequent delivery of working solutions improve the return on investment since it reduces the elapsed time between investing in a development effort and delivering the results. It also has the ability to evaluate our ideas via testing the working solution in the real world environment. So these are some of the references, and that's all from my side. Thank you.